Okay, we're going to give you what's called a parable today. And a parable is an idea, concept, a discipline that, well, is going to hit home and ring a bell in your head. We're going to talk about the parable of terrain modification. I'm going to cut this lawn here, and you can see this is only 1 week's worth of growth. Everything in Hawaii really grows fast. Now, think of your body, and I've done other videos, just sort of hint on this, but I want to talk about this just a little bit here. The grass is just like your skin, okay? If the grass can actually be pliable and have enough what you'd call osmosis, where the water can actually go through it, and it can grab its nutrients and so forth, have a little sunlight, 15 minerals, and just a little bit of sunshine, okay? And you've got yourself life. Now, inside your body, this is what terrain modification is about. Okay, most people, and I don't like to say it this way, but I'm going to, are infested with different types of microbes that live in their system. Okay, infested, like I was saying. Our phone shut off just for a second here. Now, you're saying in your mind that that's not the case, because remember, what lives inside you is very smart. It controls. If you look up 40% of the population have a mind-controlling parasite. That's a good article for you to see. And it's way more than that. Remember, these parasites actually live in your vibration, okay? We're going to cut the lawn today. I'm going to do what I do to my skin. I'm going to terrain modify it. I'm going to keep it under control. I'm going to make sure that the pores can breathe. I'm going to make sure that this grass does not grow in 1 year. This is called cane grass. This is not nice lawn that we've planted here. And this grass will grow 10 feet in a year, and pieces of bamboo this big, and you can't cut it but with a machete. That's it, okay? Once you get certain parasites in your system, and they're very, very aggressively different than the ones that are very small, like this grass we can cut with a John Deere tractor, my little biodiesel tractor, okay? Or when we run out of biodiesel, we of course use petroleum, but it does run better on petroleum a little bit, just because it needs a couple of adjustments for the biodiesel. But once we cut this every week, then it's very manageable to keep up. And terrain modification, remember, is you have to be able to do this, a consistent movement of at least 180 days. And 180 days makes you so that you can really feel the difference between the old self that you used to go ahead and actually, well, everybody only knows what they know. And you'll see that you didn't know as much as, of course, that you do at this time, because you've optimized so many things. I don't even care if it's smoking a cigarette, okay? Terrain modification, remember, is not just for you to eat certain foods or drink a lot of liquids, but it's to terrain modify your whole life. So if you're smoking, let's say, you stay away from the very classic commercial cigarette brands, because some of them have up to 4,000 burn accelerators, additives, all different types of things you wouldn't even imagine, okay? You can look up the most toxic cigarettes there are, so try to go ahead and smoke, if you can, a organic one. And they also have been using, if you look up radioactive fertilizer fed to tobacco plants. And of course, if you're feeding radioactive tobacco fertilizer to the plants, and the tobacco, of course, is harvested and you're smoking it, then of course, most likely, then maybe that's a big problem. So lighting up the cigarette. If you're lighting up a cigarette, you never light it with butane. Remember, these are just terrain modification. It's one little piece at a time. You're going to learn thousands. What makes sense to you if you smoke, you better listen to this, okay? Light the cigarette? No, because you'll suck up a bunch of butane, a bunch of petroleum, a bunch of weird stuff that basically makes that flame, okay, with a spark. You light up the hemp. It's a beeswax covered line, and the one we sell is called bee line. It's one of the best ones. The thick one's the best one for me. And you light that up, and you can light up anything, okay? No matter what you're lighting, it's best to always go ahead and not use matches, because they're very toxic. This is one little layer. There's thousands of little tidbits of information that actually just move into your diet, you move into your lifestyle, you move into your world. You change yourself only because you're smart. You optimize yourself. So just to finish this little video, we're going to cut the lawn here. I'm going to shred this down, okay, 1 week's worth of growth, just like if I was going to terrain modify myself. Most people have accumulated 5, 10, 20, 40, 50 plus years of accumulated toxins inside their machine. Okay? The body is a big filter, and body fat, remember, is really a big problem in the United States and Mexico, and we eat too much sugar. And a lot of the body fat, remember, is only because it's yeast, mold, and fungus. So changing your sugar load, watch some of the videos we have on that. Changing your oils, your salts, okay, as we said, your sugars. Changing your liquids, trying to go ahead and actually add more of a liquid diet until you clean yourself down. People come up to our retreat up here and they spend 21 days and they transform their system. Some people even stay up to 2 months, but they transform their system, terrain modifying. They come up to Hawaii, they're breathing the freshest air in the world. Okay, I'm in the front yard here of the retreat here, where, like I said, we're planting flowers. And you're living on a place right now that's very healthy, rejuvenational, because if the plants can grow here easy, we don't have sprinklers. It just rains. You can hear the birds, okay? They got the bees and they got all the different things that basically all day long you're listening to nature. So leaving your comfort zone is what makes you so you could actually maybe fast for 7 days with water. Dry your system out. Refeed yourself with a little bit of what I call Mother Nature's nectar. Okay, coconut water. Wow, you'll see what a delightful breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you'll have when you go ahead and refeed yourself with basically things that are, you can take coconut water and you can inject it into your blood, as they did back in World War II, to be able to offset some of the blood that they didn't have to be able to give some of the wounded soldiers, okay, because it's pretty close to hemoglobin. So then on the third week, what you're doing is now you start refeeding with different types of heirloom foods, trying to stay away from GMO. You do medical therapies along the way. Okay, you can get up to a dozen treatments of ethylene diamine tetracetic acid with massage in between to be able to rid yourself of toxicity, or help support rid yourself of toxicity. Because remember, you've got lots of stuff inside your system. The older you are, the more you got. Glutathione, let's clean some of the different parts of the body out. Remember, these are therapies that have been used for many, many years. They use these in high-level detox clinics, or clinics sometimes when you get sick. Cancer or some type of sickness, okay? So people that we see, they're not really coming up here because they're sick. They're coming up here to be able to deaccumulate, okay? Deaccumulate different types of things that you've accumulated in your brain. Aluminum, you think Alzheimer's is, okay? Your arterial sclerosis, atherosclerosis, these diseases that most people in the United States have. Remember, if you're the second fattest nation in the world, it means that your tubes, okay, your blood vessels, they're clogged with calcium, called calcium oxalates. The EDTA in the literature has been very proven to be able to show that this eats up a lot of that gack, I call it, a lot of the corrosion. Okay? So once you get this corrosion and it closes these arteries up, then basically what do you think? You don't like to exercise, you don't like to do anything because you're tired all the time. So these are not just, you know, you're trying to clean your body out, which is one thing, but how do you deaccumulate the stuff that's accumulated in your system? High potency vitamin C injections, okay? This super cleans you. Super is a giving antioxidant. It gives tons of electrons, and basically it donates electrons to things that live in your body that will take them, but it'll explode them up, okay? It's sort of like the cleanse of cleanses. As we talked about, glutathione, phosphatidylcholine to be able to increase joint synapse production, to be able to maybe get your nervous system kick-started, to be able to want to regenerate, okay? Phosphatidylcholine is it's called a sort of a smart drug a little bit. I used to use it back in the 70s going to school. And choline bitartrate, you know, this is to speed up the synapses, the nerve responses, so I can actually be faster and think better. You know, there's a host of different types of not only medical therapies, but different things that you would do when you come up here. You will train twice a day after your 7 days of resting. Train, you're going to ground yourself to the ground, or you're going to go ahead and actually start doing what's called chi breathing. This rearranges your nervous system. This regrows your system because now it's ready to grow. It's hungry. It's got to move into the next vibration that you bring it. Okay, so I just did a video on showing people these roundworms that we dug up in the ground. And okay, these are very real, different types of creatures. Some of them, remember, are only doing a job inside you to be able to help you along with your life because they're decomposing the different types of foods that you shouldn't be eating. Other ones that you've accumulated is only because maybe you've eaten a piece of flesh and you've gotten certain types of tapeworms that actually now are making house inside your system, and they're not wanting to leave too much. And you'll be able to see a lot of the lectures that we do, we talk about parasites. And once you find out that everybody has parasites, watch, that's a good book to watch. There's also very, very good Eaten Alive. There's lots of good parasite documentaries to watch. Monsters Within Me, all of those, the beautiful series to be able to not scare you, but to be able to show you that these alien creatures, basically, once they go ahead and get a hold of you, good luck. But you can terrain modify them and change your ways, as I'm going to terrain modify the grass. I'm going to cut the lawn. And just this parable, this idea was to be able to just give you some different ideas and just bring them home, okay? So that's a little segment on terrain modification, and I hope that connects a few of the dots together for you. All right, aloha.